Welcome everyone. Hey, this is the first episode of Between Two ERICS, where we take financial concepts for private practice owners and we debate them. And of course, I win most of the time.
False, but sure.
Okay. So, I'm your host, Eric Miller. I'm the king of personal finance for practice owners. And that's
Eric Gersh, financial advisor.
Just a financial advisor. So, okay, here's what we're going to do today. So we're going to pick a topic and then we're going to debate it. And hopefully it's going to bring some value to you guys on making better decisions with your money. The topic we're going to talk about today is one that we've had big debates on, which is student loan debt.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not a surprise that most practice owners, when they walk out of they walk out of school with $250,000, $300,000 worth of debt, depending on the industry that you're in, and it's a burden. There's no doubt about it. It's a burden. It is a weight around your neck, and people have different viewpoints on how to get rid of that, or what they should do, or how to navigate that. And we've certainly had that come up quite a bit.
Yes.
And I think we do have some common agreement, but we are gonna debate on exactly what you should do with your student loan debt, or some of the things you should do. So I guess the first question that I would have would be, Eric, you had student loan debt.
Yes.
Right? What did you do to handle it when you got out of school?
Well, truthfully,
Yeah.
I started out on a income-based plan out of college, and that kept my payment low while I was starting my career and building up my income. And it seemed like a great idea at the time, because the full payment, truthfully, would have killed me. But as the years went on, I kept making these small payments against a bigger debt, and I got like 4 or 5 years into it, and I owed more money than I had graduated with, because when you do that, they take the principal that you didn't pay and the interest that you didn't pay, add it back on, and then charge you interest on it. So it's recapitalized constantly. So my debt, even though I paid on it for years, just kept growing, and by the time my income had risen enough to pay the full debt, I obviously regretted ever doing that.
Why?
Because I owed more money.
Oh my gosh. So, and I get that. So what are we telling people to do right now when they come out of school with loads of debt? Like what is the first thing? I'll tell you, the first thing that I usually will tell people is that, and nobody likes to hear this, okay? Nobody likes to hear this, but look, you borrowed the money.
Yes.
Pay it back.
Yep,
and the most successful people that I've seen with their finances 4 or 5 years after they get out of school are those that attack the debt. They ate romaine noodles and had very, very little expenses. They lived at home and they worked their butts off to get that paid off very, very quickly. Right?
Yeah.
That seems to be the successful action that people have. But okay, I'm a little older dude. I'm a little old school, right? Like handle me on all these forgiveness programs and stuff like that. Like that, I don't quite get how that's a benefit to somebody.
So most of the forgiveness programs, and there's a couple of them out there, but the most common one is essentially pay on your student loans for 20 years, and whatever's left over is forgiven.
Yeah.
Right. So where I see a lot of people want to do that, of course, is those that graduate with $200,000, $250,000 worth of debt. They figure, hey, I'll do an income-based plan for 20 years, I'll pay the minimum, and the rest will just get wiped away. But I think the issue with that is the only way it works out is if you hold your income low for 20 years, which...
Why would you want to do that?
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Why would you want to do that? See, this is where I think they try to get you. They try to get you in a viewpoint of saying, only make so much money because it'll get the debt forgiven, but then you sacrifice making more money, or having that drive to make more money to handle the payoff.
You do and you don't. As of now, and this is one of the biggest risks, and I've talked to a lot of my clients about it that are on income-based plans, but as of right now, your payment is based on your W-2 income.
Mm-hmm.
That's not taking into consideration your profit draws. And the risk there is, well, what if that changes? What if my income-based plan, I pay it for the next 12 years, and I'm paying a minimum amount, so my debt's growing over that period, but I'm banking on forgiveness. And then 12 years from now, some new president decides to add profit in. I mean, it's not that crazy of an idea. It's part of your income. Now all of a sudden, my income-based payment is either as high or higher than my standard payment would be, and I just wasted 12 years.
Wow, my head's already ready to explode on all this stuff right now.
So
It's such an interesting topic of student loan debt, and I can't imagine that it's going to lower anytime soon. The amount of debt that these guys are coming out with right now is not going to lower. So you're definitely going to have to like have a plan immediately of what you're going to do to how to reconcile this issue. So, like, what are you telling your people to do, your clients to do, when they have this mountain of debt?
I'm telling them to just attack it, head on, put extra money towards it. It's not fun. I did it myself. It sucks. But
look what happened to you, right?
Yeah.
You got into a position, okay, your income started to go up, and now when are you going to have your student loan debt paid off?
September. Next month.
September of next month. How long have you been working?
8-9 years.
How long have you been an advisor?
3.5, 4 years.
Was it real to you at all before you became an advisor that you're going to be able to pay off your student loan debt this quickly?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. I figured I would pay the minimum for 20 years and get it forgiven.
And that's
I was part of the crowd.
And that's the point, right? Is like people have this perception that it's going to take 20 or 30 years, and they don't focus on, okay, how do I make and this is the problem most people have, is that they underestimate how much money that they need to be able to live the life that they want to live, right? So you have to like have that idea of like, I can make more money. I have to find an area where I can expand my income. Now, if you're an associate, they have power over their income, right? They get paid on production. They can always increase their money. They can reduce their expenses. I mean, you're starting out as an associate, whether or not you're an optometrist or a dentist or a physical therapist or a veterinarian. I mean, you may be only making $60,000 or $70,000, but you can get that bumped up to 120, 150, pretty quickly if you just show value and you really, really get your skills good.
Yeah.
I think that's the key right there, isn't it?
That is, and I think the other key is if you're in an associate position like that and your income is going up, is just that fighting that human urge, that lifestyle creep of, okay, now that I make 120 instead of 70, now I can drive a BMW instead of a Honda or whatever. Because at those six-figure ranges is when people tend to just dump money into nicer stuff. It's the same stuff, it's just a little bit nicer.
Yeah, don't assume that just because you went to school for 5 or 6 years, all of a sudden you deserve a car, you deserve a house, you deserve to have all these things. I think people do, based upon their hard work, but you have this reality where you have this huge debt.
Yeah, you don't deserve your tree. You don't necessarily deserve your dream house 4 years out of school.
No.
Maybe 12 years out of school after you've built your income, you've paid off your debts, you've built your client base, you've done all these great things. Now's the time.
Yeah, and not only that, but I know a lot of these associates that want to be practice owners, right? Look, if you want to go qualify for loans, if you want to not have the burden of the student loan debt, I'd attack that really, really fast so that when you do go and try to get a practice or acquire a practice or, go to a lending institution to get money, it's going to be a lot easier to do if they don't see this yoke of $250,000 hanging around your neck.
Very true. And the other thing too, and this benefited me in my situation as well, is when you're young, you're either, you know, most, not everybody, of course everybody's situation is different, but once you start a family, once you get married, once you do these things, your expenses naturally rise. So those first couple years out of school, when the vast majority, not everybody, but the vast majority of people tend to either be single or just dating and making money, that's the easiest time to attack your debt. It's only going to get harder as time goes on and your life progresses.
Yeah, more expenses, more demand, you know, inflation, all these things are going to eat into your income. So yeah, that's good. All right. Well, anything else you want to leave people with when it comes to student loan debt?
Pay it. Pay it.
I changed his mind.
And I never thought it would be possible.
Yes.
When I first started working here, I fought him on it. I mean, we probably spent hours just, you know, jokingly debating it, kind of seriously debating it. And I never thought my mind would be changed. But, you know, getting rid of the student loans was, well, I guess I'm not quite there, but I'm so close that it's just, I can already feel the freedom of it.
Yes, so when you have debt, guys, I want you to remember this. When you have debt, you have your attention, for whatever reason, kind of stuck in the past a little bit, okay? That's what happens when you have debt. You didn't have the money to pay for something right now, so you had to use future income to pay it, right? So your attention's kind of always in the past because you're taking money that you earn, and then you got to pay off some back thing, okay? So when you get rid of that debt, it kind of frees your attention off from the past, and now you can look and really look at your future and kind of plan for it that way. So I want you to remember that, and I also want you to remember that you know, when you pay off something where you fulfill an obligation that you have, that's another thing that really makes you feel like there's a sense of achievement. Like, okay, I agreed I was going to borrow this money, and I paid it back in full. Okay, there's a sense of achievement and accomplishment with that, okay? And that has a powerful impact on what you're going to do going forward. So just remember that. So this is between two ERICS. That's number one. Hey guys, so hey, if you like this video of Between Two ERICS, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, you hit the like button, and stay tuned because there's going to be a lot more of us.